Welcome to another video in which we will talk about the data analysis and the basic tables that we have to make while writing chapter number 4. Now, first of all, there can be a number of tables and they depend on the type of analysis that you're doing with your data. But for a simple social science research, some of the basic tables that you have to make in chapter 4 can be these following 7 tables. Starting from, if you have a questionnaire and you are trying to test and run a pilot test on the scale of your questionnaire, then you're going to give a pilot testing table just to show the reliability of your questionnaire. Secondly, an important table is the demographic table, which means that you will be showing the sample characteristics of the respondents that have given you the data. The third table can be the reliability analysis for the whole of your questionnaire, in which you will be using the Cronbach alpha. Fourth table can be the descriptive statistics table for data normality and the feel of the data. The fifth table is usually the correlations table, in which you try and know the direction of the relationship between different variables. And the sixth table can be the direct hypothesis testing table, in which you will be telling your linear regression results. And lastly, there can be one or more tables showing the mediation and the moderation relationship if you have the mediation, the moderation relationship in your model. Now, first of all, as we will be using the APA style, first of all, we need to look at the APA style table. So this is an APA style table. And if you look at it carefully, there are no vertical lines, there are only horizontal lines. And on the top of each table, you give a name to the table and the number to this table. For example, this is a table 4.2 colon reliability analysis. Now, why do we give this a 4.2? We assume that this is our second table of chapter 4. So if you're using it in thesis, then this is the right way, that you give it a name of the chapter with the name of the table in that chapter. Otherwise, if you're writing in a simple research paper, you can just go with the table 1, 2, 3 throughout your paper. Now, other things to note are that there is a line above and below the main heading. Then there is a data, and then there is the last line here. So if you want to make any note here, for example, if you want your reader to know anything, for example, alpha, so you can give an alpha is equal to reliability test, or anything that you want your readers to know that is there in this table, that you can write here in the form of a note. Let's look at another table. This is also an EPA style. So again, table number 4.3, descriptive statistics. Then there are headings, main headings, mean, standard deviations, skewness, and kurtosis. And then there is this data, and then you have a line at the end, at the bottom. So this is what an APA style table looks like. Now, in order to make these tables, what I suggest is a little tedious and a long method, but it's going to give you a lot of flexibility when you will be making your tables. So let's suppose we have this SPSS file, and we have to make the tables out of this SPSS file. So as you can see, that gender, experience, and education, these are the 3 variables that I'm using as demographics. So first of all, what we'll be doing is analyze descriptive statistics, frequencies, and we will be putting these 3 variables here, and we will be getting their frequencies. Now, we have these 3 tables. The first table shows us that there is a sample size of 309 and there's no missing value. Then there are these 3 variables. Now, putting these tables as it is in your research doesn't look very good. So what you can do is just select these three tables from here or from here, right click, copy, and I suggest that you paste them in an Excel file. For example, I'm going to paste these tables here. Now, they are completely out of shape and out of order. So what we can do is, for example, if we just take these two variables and we can make one table out of these two demographics, we can start with removing some of the unwanted information. For example, the gender is fine. Let's make it an unmerged table because we have to delete this D cell. So let's just delete this D cell, and then you have a gender here, and then you have the frequency table here. Now what you can do is you can remove the extra tables from here like this and just make it as a one table. And if you need to insert one of the cells, you can do it here. Then take this cell, merge it, and write the heading, for example, education. Here, gender, make it a merged cell and make it a heading. So now, once you have these values with you, what you can do is you can still remove some of the excesses information which we do not require. For example, these two cells can be removed, or if you do not want to remove them, it is fine. Let's just take this text and first try and give it the all borders. Now you can just click here and just give a double click here. It is going to take everything in its place and is going to adjust the cells. Once these cells are completely adjusted, for example, now they are well adjusted. You can also do it with this side. For example, just click here and it's going to adjust it accordingly. Now, what you can do is you can just select all of it, change the font size to 12 and to Times New Roman, and it should be, the thing should be in the middle, the text. So you can click these two buttons, and we have just lost a little formatting here. So what you can do is we can again set it like this and like this. So once you've made this table, you can take this table to your Word file. Let's suppose we have a Word file here and we are going to make our demographic table. Let's just give it a enter V. Now here you need to do a few more things in order to make it an APA style table. One of the must things that you need to do is select your table from here, right click, go to auto fit and auto fit to window. This is going to adjust your table according to the window that you're using or according to the text limits that you're using within this formatting. Then keep it selected, and what you can do is go to this border bar. First, make it no border. So once you're going to have no borders, then you can easily give the border to the headings. For example, lower line and top border. This is a heading. Now, this is also a heading. The education is also a heading in this table. So what we are going to do is we are going to give it top header and lower header. The next thing that we need to do is give it the lower head. Now, this has converted it into an APA style table. Or what the other thing that we can do is just take this gender and give it a top border. And now we have this clearly APA style table. Some other things that you can do is you can take this text to this place and then education, because it's a heading, it can go to the center. So this is what is going to look like your APA style table for frequency. Then the second table that you need to make is that is of Cronbach alpha. And as we've already seen in some other videos, that in order to take the Cronbach alpha, you need to go to the analyze, scale, reliability analysis, and take the items of first variable. For example, this C is being measured by 12 items. So click them here, take the alpha value. Now, the number of items are 12, and the Cronbach alpha value is 0.938. Now, let's go back to our Excel file, and I prefer using a separate sheet for separate tables because afterwards, if you have to edit a table, then it's going to be very difficult if you'll be making it in the same sheet. So let's go to another sheet in which I have already created a table of reliability. Now, what it is showing is that I've already given a serial number, variable name, formalization, creativity, innovation, and then there is this alpha, and then another heading is the number of items. So you are going to write the name of your variable here, the Cronbach alpha value that you got from the SPSS here, and the number of items that you're using to measure this variable here. So 1, 2, 3. This shows that in your model, you just have three variables, and these are the Cronbach alpha values. So again, you can take this table from Excel to the Word file and give it a name of, for example, table 4.2 reliability analysis. And then you can simply paste your table here. We can take this to the center and then we can just paste the table here. Now, after pasting it, obviously what you'll have to do is you'll need to convert it to the APA style table. The first thing, what we are going to do is select auto fit to window, and then no borders, then the top border, bottom, and top. And then the last line should have a bottom line like this. So this is also your APA style table now. Some other things that you can do with this table is select it, and if you want to change the line spacing, you can always do it to 2, 1.5, 1.15. 2 is preferred because APA style prefers uh, 2 line spacing. The next table that you need to make is which is your descriptive statistics table. For that, you're going to go to Analyze, Descriptive Statistics, Descriptives. The details of these table has already been mentioned in some other video. So let's just take these three computed variables here, go to Options, and select skewness kurtosis, uncheck this minimum and maximum, continue, and OK. You have this table now with you. What you can do is copy this table to your Excel file. We're going to use another sheet. Here is going to give you again a lot of flexibility. Like, first of all, you do not need this data. The maximum we do not need. So you can delete it. What we need is the mean, standard deviation, skewness, and kurtosis. But with the skewness and kurtosis, you get these standard errors. You can always remove them. And this one. So you left again, there is this one extra statistics. And now we have the heading of the table that we can merge here. And then we have these, we can also remove this one. So you have the mean, standard deviation, skewness, and kurtosis. What we can do is variables. So let's just select the whole thing, convert it to 12 times New Roman and center and center. Select this one and just click this one. So we are going to adjust it. So what we can do is we can take this, we can give it a border, copy, and then paste it in your Word table 4.3, and this is our descriptive analysis. Here, variables, and just click here, auto fit to window, give it a 2-line spacing, and then what we need to do is no border, and then we are going to give border to the lower and the top border, and for the last line we will be giving the bottom. Now let's suppose we wanted to write something, for example, n is equal to 309. So this thing should be not bold, 10 font, and should be italic. So it shows that it's a node. Here we have this extra heading, descriptive statistics or descriptive analysis, so we can always remove it. So this is how you're going to create your descriptive analysis or descriptive statistics table. The next table, which is a little technical table to create in Excel, is the correlation table. So let's just take this correlation table, analyze, correlate, bivariate, and what you usually do is you put your independent, dependent, and mediating moderating variables. But I'm just doing it some with some extra uh, demographic tables as well. So just to make it a good proper table. So let's suppose we're using these 6 variables to analyze our correlation. You just need to click OK, and you're going to get this kind of table. Now it has a lot of information, but some of the information is redundant and it doesn't look good when you write it in your thesis. So let's copy this table from here, take it to Excel, use another sheet, and let's just paste it. When you're going to paste it, you're going to see that there is a lot of extra information. For example, Pearson correlation significance. This is the information that we do not want. So we are going to delete it. Plus, there is some information which is extra in each of these boxes. For example, this is the correlation value. This first is the correlation value. As we can just see from here, it is Pearson's correlation. So the first line is showing the Pearson's correlation value. The second line is showing the significance. The third line is showing n, which is the sample size 309. So what we can do is we can get rid of these two informations in the matrix. Now, why? Significance is very important. But as you can see that there are stars here. So stars, these have a different meaning. For example, if you have a 1 star or 2 stars, it shows that your value of the correlation is significant at these levels. So we can always remove these two columns from, or the rows from this data. Again, we're going to do it for all the table, and eventually we are going to get a very crisp table with us. For example, remove this one, remove these two, and remove these two. So now we have a table which is showing less information, but an important one. One other thing that we need to do is now these values, all the values above or below these one level are a mirror image of each other. For example, this value and this value are the same because it's a matrix. So what we can do is we can get rid of this. We can get rid of this top values. For example, here you can delete them Here you can delete them, delete, delete, and delete. So now we are left with this matrix. And for this, what you can do is, again, we need to format it. For example, 12 times New Roman, and just adjust this cell from here and from here. So this is a table that we want for our analysis part. So I can copy this table, give it borders, and copy and take it to our Word file. Copy it. What's the first thing that we need to do? The first thing that we need to do is to give it a table number, table 4.4 and correlations. And in this table, what we need to do is, first we need to get rid of this fitting issue, auto fit to window, then no borders. Now, as we know that this is the heading line, so what we can do is we can give it the lower and upper border. Then this is the last line of the data. We can give it a lower line, and this will be left as part of the notes. So it's going to go to 10 and italic. So this is how you're going to create your APA style table of correlation. You can just give it a bold heading, or if not, this is also fine. Now this 111 is showing that gender has a one correlation with gender, experience has a one correlation with experience. Some other things that you can do is you can just keep these two here. Now this will give you a very good correlation table. You can always delete if you feel that there is some extra space here. Then the next table is the regression table. Now, for the regression table, first we need to go to this SPSS. For example, if I say that regression, linear. Now, let's suppose I say that my first hypothesis is the relationship of formalization as an independent variable and creativity as a dependent variable. This is my simple hypothesis. So if I just click OK, it's going to give me these four tables. This is not useful. These three tables are useful, but it depends what information do you want to take it to your thesis or your paper. For now, what you can do is you can note the information which is very important. For example, R square value, the F value, the beta value here, the T value, and the significance value. So what I've already done is that I have already created a table in Excel, and that is a table of direct hypothesis. Now what it is showing is hypothesis, independent variable which is given as IV, dependent variable that is given as DV, R square, it should be in the square form, F, beta, T test, significance or the probability value, and the status of the hypothesis. So what I can do is hypothesis 1, for example, my variable is formalization and my dependent variable is creativity. The R square value that I'll get from here, from this SPSS sheet, for example, this is 0.076. F is 25.33. So what I'm going to do is for the first hypothesis, I'll be writing the R square value 0.076, 25.33. Then I'm going to go to my beta values, which is minus 0.301, minus 0.301. So minus 0.301. Then my t-value is minus 5.03. So minus 5.03. And then significance is obviously 0.000. And status means that if you have accepted your hypothesis or rejected. We are not taking the status part because that's going to make our table very long, which might not fit on the Word file. So just give it borders, copy from here, and take it to the Word file. Let's copy it here. And what we need to do is we need to go here, auto fit to window, and then again the same thing. For example, if you want to give 2 line spacing, then no borders, and then the top border is already there, the bottom border, then the last line, and last line you're giving it the lower border. And the table name should be given table 4.5 or whichever is this table, hypothesis testing. So this is how you will be making your basic tables. Now, in order to make your further tables, for example, if you're using Andrew Hayes analysis for mediation, this is the table that you can make. And again, for this kind of table, you will be making this table in the Excel file, and then obviously you'll be putting it back in the Word file. For the moderation table, what you can do is you can make a table like this. For example, levels of the moderator, the effect size, standard error, T, P, LLCI, and ULCI, low level confidence interval and upper level confidence interval. You can separate them with a comma. Then on this side, you can give a minimum effect, average, and maximum. For this, to understand this table, you need to go to one of my other videos about moderation analysis using Andrew Hayes. So this is how you can make different tables in APA for your chapter 4. For the interpretation of these tables, you'll have to watch the other video. Thank you very much.